Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome Dinosaurs or the legend here. And Phil, how are you? How are you feeling today, Phil? You good?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Mm.
Been a bit crazy busy at the moment, but that's why
Okay.
I'm a bit delayed on the call. But all good.
It's very
Happy to be on the
grateful.
screen.
Yeah, very grateful for you, Dinosaur, to come and give us your input. We won't take too much of your time. I know there's people that would want to ask you some questions, and I know you've been playing Tekken since Tekken 5, Dinosaur. Is that right? Tag. So you've been playing. So you've seen it all, right? You've seen like the tier list fluctuate. There must have been tier lists. Before back. When Tekken Tag came about and Tekken 5. Was there? Would you say there was loads of these tier list discussions back then as well as there is now?
Yeah. I think there's always been. It's always been just like one of the main things that people talk about, and because everyone just, it doesn't really matter what kind of interest you're looking at. Like people do this in when they're watching sports,
Yeah,
or like TV shows. Everyone's just going to be like, oh, what do you think is the #1 TV show of all time?
Yeah.
Is it Messi or Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Like everything has to be like because the most easy way to explain things to people, I think, is just by like putting them into a list.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is how I view things. That's the best, that's the worst.
Yeah,
So
no, you're right.
They've always just been super popular.
Yeah, I think like it's quite interesting how people like have their own tier lists, and everyone it seems to differ a lot. Usually in the middle like section, it's like the top is usually quite quite obvious. These 5 characters go here. The bottom as well. These kind of characters, maybe 1 or 2 debates, but it's always the center area. The A and the B in the tier list, I know, which gives me the most problems, and the stream chat problems as well. It's like everyone just has complete, it's complete chaos when it gets into that middle section, and that's why you're here, Dino, to kind of like maybe give us a clearer insight. And the goal of today is like to kind of get the stream chat to agree and say, yes, this is correct. And this is the tier list that is right. And obviously, there's going to be.
I'm not
people...
sure if that's going to happen because that never happens.
No, Dinosaur. But I got very close to it where I was like, this is a tier list. This was like a year ago, and then everyone in the chat was like, you know what? I agree, and many people agreed. There was just 1 or 2 people that maybe disagreed, but we want to get everyone to agree with this tier list. So we'll start with one character. You get to pick the first one, and then I'll pick all the others from then on. So what character would you like to start with, Dino?
So how many tiers are we gonna have?
So we're gonna have. I think it's do we have a D tier? I forgot if I did a D tier last time, or do we just wipe out the D tier?
Yeah, I mean, I think 5 tiers is probably fine.
Yeah.
It could be less. I mean, because I think one of the main things is that like, if everyone disagrees on who the middle tier, on like the ordering of the middle of like the middle 2 tiers or 3 tiers or whatever it is, if everyone disagrees on that, then maybe they're all just the same. Like from an actual practical perspective, like all those characters, there isn't actually like a really big difference.
Okay.
Like, so I mean, that could just be the way that Tekken is. It's just like there's a few really good characters at the top, and there's a few like obviously flawed characters at the bottom, and then everyone else is just in the middle. Like that, that would be like a perfectly fine way of looking at it, which would make sense according to how we've seen like tournaments and stuff come out.
No, cool. So so should we leave it like this, or should we?
Yeah. I mean, 5 is fine.
5 is fine. Good. Yeah. And again, this is a kind of revamped one. The Tekken World Tour finals just happened as well, Dino. So I'm sure you were watching that, and you saw like the display of like some of the best players in the world, and also the characters they were using. There's some characters that people maybe thought aren't that high, but maybe now you could put them slightly higher based on what happened at these major events. So yeah, Dino, what character do you want to start with, or do you want to just put like the D's and the we should put like the ones that we know go in D, like the panda and the if I just Dino, can you see my screen, or should I?
Yeah. I'm watching the stream.
I can share screen. I can share screen as well, so you can see it.
That's no worries.
Live. It's there as well, but yeah, so Panda and Kuma D tier. I don't know if you agree with this straight away.
Yep, that's fine.
That's fine, yeah. And stream chat, you agree with Panda and Kuma all the way at the bottom, and also another one that usually goes down there is Yoshimitsu. I don't know if you want to put him somewhere there, or is he?
I'll put him there.
Well, D as well.
He might be there. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, nice one. These are
he might be there. He might be one higher. I think it doesn't really make that much difference.
Cool. Yeah. Another one that you want to put in D is there another that?
I'd say probably Lars, Dragonov, and Lucky Chloe will go in there.
In D.
They're all like. Yeah.
Okay.
And Gigas.
I reckon the people. Okay. So where's Lars? Jesus Christ. Lars. Who else was it? Gigas.
Yeah.
Gigas. And where the fuck is Gigas?
Lucky Chloe. She's our bottom left, just above Fakam Ram.
Bottom left above Fakam Ram. Lucky Chloe. Okay. I already put Gigas up there. Yeah. So those ones, right? Is there anyone else?
Maybe Dragonov.
I remember people saying, Dragonov is quite a strong character. Where is Dragonov here?
I mean, okay. I genuinely don't think anyone in this game is actually bad.
Okay.
I think if you had to put names on the tier list, I would put like the D tier. I would just say I would just be like slightly flawed.
Okay, so slightly flawed. So you'd say D is slightly flawed, and what would your S be then? S would be
like very good.
Just very good, not broken, right?
No, I mean there's no broken characters in this game.
Nice. Okay. Well, we can come on to that debate in a second, Dinosaur, because I believe there are broken characters in this game. But yeah, okay. The D's we can leave like that, right? We can leave like Panda, Akuma, Yoshimitsu, Lars, Gigas, Lucky Chloe, and Dragonov. And I don't think the order. Would you say the order matters here, really? Like, as in.
So one of my things is that I think one of the more important things about a character and how successful they are is how easy they are. So when I'd make a tier, if I did a tier list, I would order it in terms of how easy the characters are.
Okay, how easy? So we'll do that. We'll do in terms of how easy they are, right?
Yep. So it's pretty straightforward. It'll be like Gigas is probably the easiest.
Yeah.
Then Bears, and like Lucky Chloe, maybe. Lucky Chloe and Lars probably about the same, to be honest.
Yeah, and then Dragonov, Yoshimitsu.
And then Yoshimitsu is easily the hardest out of those.
Cool. All right. No, nice.
So that basically means that what we've said is that Yoshimitsu is the worst character.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. But we can definitely come back to that. I think it's best to like just do an overview of everything. In terms of the S now, let's get some more stuff in. What do we think? Akuma, yep. Definitely, right?
Yep.
Zafina?
No.
Not sure. Yeah. Okay.
We'll leave Zafina's that good.
Julia?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know whether you can either say that Akuma is in a separate tier to everyone else, or you can have like a top tier of like Akuma, Julia, Feng, and Geese. I think.
Akuma, Julia, Feng is like there's no question, and Geese, right?
Yeah.
Where's Geese? No, nice. Okay, cool. So why would you say Akuma is in there? Obviously, like I think Akuma is beyond broken in this game because of the tools. But there's no argument with Akuma, right, Dino?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's broken. Like a broken character is a character where like you can't do anything to beat them. Like Street Fighter, the original like Super Street Fighter 2 Akuma is broken. He's like.
But why? Why is that character broken? Because. You're saying he has something that can't be stopped, right?
Yeah, because he can do F fireball, and there's no character in the game that can get around it pretty much. And he also has the best damage and the best defense, and he's like, he is an actual broken character. Like, he has literal like 10-0 matchups.
Okay, so then the definition of broken is that there's actually no way round that type of like move or play style or whatever.
Yeah, it's when there would be, in order to play the game competitively, you would have to play Akuma. Okay. No, that makes sense. No, that's really good. Like insight. And you believe then, like when Leroy came out, there was no like he wasn't broken when he came out. No, he wasn't broken. He was just like He was just like outrageously good. You could obviously play against him, like the Evo, whatever it was, the Evo Japan Finals.
Yeah,
like
that was like six. There was six. Was it 6 Leroys, one Julia, and a Bob?
The Julia player like beat all the Leroys apart from one, and all they would have had to have done is beat one more Leroy, and it would have been like they would have won the tournament.
Yeah.
So like, and like shortly after that, you saw like in Pakistan, like Arsalan was he like beat up Atif Butt's Leroy with like Puma,
Okay.
not Akuma, the bear,
Yeah.
in a tournament. So yeah, I mean, he wasn't unbeatable. He was just really stupid.
It's just really stupid. Oh, okay, cool. No, that makes sense. No, that's cool. I think this is a very clear, like, Akuma, Julia, Feng, and Geese. Like, I would have an argument to put Zafina like towards the end of S, but again, we can go back to that.
I think she's just a bit more flawed than all those characters, like in terms of.
But her movement I think her movement is extremely strong though, Dana. Like the way she moves, her stances, her evasiveness. Feng can't even move as strong as that, and
yeah.
But Feng obviously has incredible tools, but Zafina like maybe doesn't break the game, Dana, but she has Tekken Tag 2 movement. Like she has very strong movement. And I think movement is like one of the most important parts of Tekken. And if she can move like that, put her in the hands of, like you said, like Chanel and Arslan, and look what happens to her. Like they just end up winning most shit.
But I think Arslan's success with Zafina has gone down a bit.
Yes, it has.
Time, and I think it's because the character like genuinely does have some flaws. She's not, apart from her homing move, she's not. Am I going to get into trouble? She's not super hard to step. Like it changes the game quite a lot.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It changes the game quite a lot if you fuzzy duck a lot against her and you have a really strong while standing 13 frame move because it takes down 3 out a bit.
For example, like Dragunov's while standing move, right?
Yeah. And like her punishment is on some things is terrible.
Okay.
Like, if you're playing Brian against her, like punishment for hatchet kick is one of the worst in the game. Yeah, she doesn't have. There's like if she's against Akuma, for example, she's one of the few characters that can't launch his Tatsu on block without Rage Drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it adds up.
So you'd put Zafina at A then, right?
Yeah, probably.
Probably A. I don't think she can be B. There's no way. I think she's definitely like A. All right. What about what? This
so
is
actually, I think maybe let's just take everyone out of S apart from Akuma. Let's just leave Akuma in S. He can be the best character.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah. Everyone can go into A.
So you agree that in stream chat, you guys, does everyone here agree that Akuma is, so based on this, Akuma is the best character in the game? This is what the tier list is saying right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think Akuma. Like the thing is that Akuma is like way harder than any of the characters that we've listed so far.
Yeah.
But I think at the absolute top level, I mean, because there's still things that people don't actually do with Akuma. Like there's still more to be done with the character. There's still more optimization and stuff.
I think you played Akuma yourself, Dino, as well. So you've had experience. You know how to. You understand Akuma. So you're a good person, definitely, to speak about Akuma.
Yeah. So I think there's more room for optimization and stuff in the character than there's actually been discovered at the moment. He's actually even better in some ways than people think.
Okay. So so you'd be happy with putting Akuma on a tier on his own.
S. Yeah, because the other thing is that like. Again, I like ordering tiers by how difficult they are, because I think that gives you a better image of how the game actually works. Like, because
perfect, cool.
If it takes you a certain amount of work to get to a certain level, or a certain amount of like on pointness, let's say, to get to be playing a certain character, that amount of work gets you the same amount of work gets you to the same level as like another character who's super easy.
Yeah.
That character is in many ways sort of functionally better because it just frees up mental space, because your character is really easy to play.
It does, yeah.
And Tekken is historically like often like dominated by like pretty easy characters. Always. Especially like since Mishima's sort of fell off around DR. they've a lot of tournaments have just gone to like pretty straightforward characters, with the exception of like mostly like Akuma and Steve.
Yeah, so they've gone to, I know what you're saying, they've gone to like characters that it doesn't require too much mental and brain power. Like you have the energy to use that kind of mental in other aspects, instead of the difficult ones where you need to focus on your execution and making sure all of this all this shit goes down right. So yeah, that makes sense. No, definitely. No, that
I mean, out of those four, I would put Feng first. He's the easiest.
Okay.
He's the second. He is the second easiest. Zafina is the third easiest, and Julia is the hardest.
Okay. Cool.
And that pretty much reflects what you see in tournaments.
Okay. And does everyone agree with this? Now, guys, in chat, if you have a question to ask, if it, I won't accept any troll questions. I do not accept anyone trolling Dino here. But if anyone here has any any serious questions, just type Q and then type your question, and then I'll be able to ask Dino. And I won't answer everything, but we'll try and answer as we go along. Okay. What are factors that make a character hard easy? Capital Kingu says.
Mostly it's like applicable execution. Do you have like difficult things to like that you have to pull off? I think I said this when we did like a difficulty thing with Arya, but there's every character has like some crazy stuff that you can try, but some characters have crazy stuff that you kind of need to be. Some characters have stuff that you kind of need to be that you need to make them function. So like Katarina can launch hop kicks, but you're not going to no Katarina's going to do this. The other thing is like how complicated their game plan is. Like how do they enforce their game plan enforced through like having to understand a person's rhythm, or can you just like 50-50 them to death to some extent?
Yeah.
Like because some characters genuinely don't have particularly powerful lows, right? And so they have to sort of control a match through through timing, and so it can be harder for them to make a comeback. So let's say like Steve versus Marduk for a really like big obvious example. If you want to make a comeback with Steve, you're mostly going to have a read on your opponent's timing. If you want to make a comeback with Marduk, you can just tackle the other person.
It completely makes sense here. And someone says this because with execution, I feel like it's just practice till it's second nature. Is the character still hard for a player then if they can naturally throw out high execution stuff?
To an extent, but no. I would say is the actual answer to this, because there's always no matter how good you are, like there's always the risk of messing something up. Every time you do something high execution, you're always stepping out on a tightrope kind of thing.
Okay.
And you might, it's like you got to walk to the end of it without falling off. And the higher the pressure, the higher the stress.
That's nice. No.
More like the more unlikely it is for you to fall off. I mean, like there's a tournament between like Jimmy and Anakin at some point, which basically Anakin wins the tournament because Jimmy hits him with orbital and then messes up the down back 2 afterwards. He gets like down 2 or something instead. Like, so if that's one of like the most glaring like execution problems from flaw. Like that's a huge execution mistake on something which anyone could do from someone with incredible execution.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you said he lost the tournament because of that as well.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything else about like complicated stuff? Yeah, some characters they just have a lot of subtlety and depth in like the way their like stances or like transitions and things work. Characters like Zhao Yu or perhaps like Raven. Like Yoshimitsu, there's a lot of depth contained in parts of their game. Like, how do you use Yoshimitsu's flash? You can use it. You can make it have longer range. You can use it from no sword stance. You can make it have longer range from no sword stance. All of these things change the frame data. You can use it as a while standing punisher. You can use it as a block punisher. Whether you can use it as a block punisher changes on whether it's no sword stance or not. Like, all this stuff is super complicated.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to keep in your head and very weird.
No, thanks for the answer, Dino. That was really insightful as well to everyone in chat. So I think this is good so far. I guess next one we'll talk about is you mentioned the characters Marduk here. Where would Marduk go in your opinion, Dino?
I think he'd go in the tier below. Maybe we are going to need more tiers. If we have Akuma as a separate one, maybe we'll need one more tier.
What about S plus? S plus?
Yeah,
S
I
plus
think he goes there.
Yeah, so if I just
Zafina also goes there. I don't think Zafina belongs with the other three.
Yeah, that's it. Look. Yeah. What the fuck? So like this one here. So Akuma, there at the top, and then above that, Vengeance and Julia.
Yep.
And then Zafina.
Yep.
And Marduk and B.
I think it's Zafina and Marduk in the same tier. They're both the same character.
Cool.
They both
that's good.
I mean, they're not the same character, but they've got some flaws, but they're like really
incredibly
good.
Strong. Yeah. Where would you put? Let's keep the Mishimas till after the Mishimas here. What about Alyssa, Dino?
Yeah, I'd put her in the same tier as them. She's good.
Yep.
I'd put her with Marduk and Zafina.
In that order, do you think so far? Let's try and order these in terms of like,
Marduk
you said,
100% the easiest character in this tier.
Okay, and Zafina and Alyssa.
Or at least so far.
So far, yeah. So Zafina's quite easy with all her stances and stuff that you have.
She's not. I don't think her stances are really not really that complicated. It's mostly just like there's ones which are safe and ones which aren't. The ones which are safe you just block. The ones which aren't, sometimes you just do her like crashing low out of it.
Yeah.
I don't think she's like a super complicated character to learn. Lisa sort of. Similarly, I don't think chainsaws are that difficult. She's got some like.
I've never actually used Alyssa. Have you, Dana?
Not really.
Like, I don't actually know how easy it is to get into like chainsaw stance, and if it's like I just see people getting into stance and.
Yeah, she's got some like tricky pickups. I think from certain things like while standing both punches, or sorry, is it full crouch both punches?
Yeah.
I always get that and the
yeah.
mixed up, but she's got like she's got a magic 4. I think her main thing is just that she has to just win a lot of exchanges. She's one of those characters where she's gonna have to win. Gonna have to poke a lot of times, and some characters are just gonna punch her in the face and do more damage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's fine. Like super good movement, like you said, that's as important as Zafina is. She's got a magic 4, a homing magic 4 that Zafina doesn't have.
Yep.
So they've got a safe down forward 2.
Yep.
So like, in some ways, her damaging movement control is even better than Zafina's. She doesn't hit as hard as her in general, like on her lows or just with her pokes or with her mids. But her actual space control is probably slightly better than Zafina's.
Cool. So,
okay, Changbang says Zafina is harder than Elisa, but Changbang is a Elisa up player.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing we need to. This is another thing we need to be careful with, Dinosaur. Where with the stream chat, you need to, that like if for example I play Bob, so naturally like I'll put Bob as as low as possible because I believe he requires a lot of work to win with. So people will always downplay their characters. I think this is like very very obvious. People like to downplay all these characters, but yeah, I don't know what you think. So
let's just
swap
Elisa and Zafina. That's fine.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Shaheen, Dino.
Shaheen, it's just like an average character. Put him C.
Yeah. Let's get these shitty ones out though. Let's see. Armor King.
Average.
C. Yeah.
B.
Let's try and order it up as we can. Let's see. Yep. Shit, that's fine. I think
it's going to be too. It's going to be too hard.
I think Shaheen is way better. Shaheen is way easier than.
He's easier than. Well, actually, they're not. I mean,
they're the same roughly,
he's
right?
got the sort of 50-50 issue. But yeah, no, he is easier than Armor King.
Yeah. What about Negan?
He's average. He's really boring. Like,
No. I agree. If this was a tier list of like the most boring characters, Negan would be like one of the most boring characters. I hate this character so much. It is boring to watch as well. It's really boring to watch. I don't know if anyone here sat there and watched But yeah, I can see some guys are asking questions. Guys, if you want to ask a question, you know, just make sure to put it in, and then we can discuss it. I'll definitely be reading out some questions. But yeah, Negan is very boring. But in terms of strength, Dino, what do you think? I've seen Nee use him a couple of times as well, and he does seem like he does do a lot of work.
Just put him. He's just really boring. Like, it's really hard to tell how good he is because he's just like. I mean, he does have like significant problems. Is that mainly that he doesn't have like a good counter hit tool outside of his outside of his shove, which isn't that fast and is sort of reasonably whiff punishable. And his lows, like he can't really make comebacks. So
yeah, C should be right here, right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's just
C for now. Yeah.
Like,
what about?
Again, like as I said, it can be really useful to have like a really easy character to play. He's really easy. I don't think he's actually that good.
Okay. What about we're going Eliza.
Eliza. E.
Nice.
She's B. I think she's obviously not as good as the characters above her, but she's slightly better than average.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Again, she's really one of these characters who has to win lots of exchanges and so on. Well, she doesn't actually have to win lots of exchanges. She just has to win one at the beginning, and she can run away for the rest of the round.
Yeah. And her jump as well. Her jump makes her, unique, a really good tool as well to.
She can't make comebacks that well. She's got some weird character matchups. She's quite hard and weird. But yeah, there.
What about this character, Katarina?
The same tier, like ahead of her, obviously. Like
yeah.
The top of that tier.
Yeah, we saw Gilanda do so much damage with Katarina, right?
Yeah.
Like I think
it's like super easy.
Super easy, yeah. Not a lot of brain power required, right, to play this character. You can free up your brain to, whiff punish and just focus, like, not too much on like her execution is very, very easy. Am I right? Like just
yeah. I mean, she's got. I think in terms of difficult things, it is essentially like forward 2. Or is that the word? I always forget it. I was getting mixed up.
Yeah, I think
it's block punishing with that. But as I said, no one ever does it. So, and she still has like a reasonable tournament presence.
Yeah, good. That's nice stuff. I think most people agree in the chat there. Katarina, this is a good place for now. This is, I think, the top of B, like you said, is probably where Katarina goes. Not as strong as obviously the 3 characters above, but like there's probably the strongest of like the average. And yeah, look, people are so far, people are agreeing. But someone said Kat is top 5, the BM. What do you think of that, Dino?
Nah, she's still like, flows are still a bit too risky.
Yeah.
And doesn't like delete people for movement in the way that's like other characters.
Yeah, I think it's true that Gilanda said it too. Gilanda was doing some kind of talk, and he said he believes Kat is top 5 as well. So.
I mean, I think that's like he's one of those cool guys who's like, my character is really good. Like he's never like,
he's not downplaying his character.
I lose because my character's so bad. Like, even when Katarina was nerfed, he was like, this is fine. She's still really good. I think she's a really good tournament character because she, as I said, she's everyone in the far left of any of these tiers is pretty much a good tournament character because they're super easy to play.
Yeah. All right, so
I just don't think she can be really higher than this. She's just not as good as Marduk or like Elisa or Zafina.
Yeah. No, cool. That sounds good. Lydia.
Average, not like she's another character. She's one of these characters where she got like a bunch of nerfs and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this character's completely unusable now."
And Dino, no one uses her now. Like I don't see any Lydia players anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, but this happens with this happens with really boring like top tier characters a lot of the time. Is that people will, a lot of people will play them. They will get a bunch of visible nerfs, and then everyone will stop playing them because the character's really boring. And they only played them to rob people. Like, because you remember like when Lydia came out, there were a whole bunch of people who were like, "Man, this character's really fun. I love playing Lydia. What happened to all of you?" Yeah, so I mean, we saw this happen with like
Oh, so you saw it as well, Dino. The tweets that were like, this is like my new main, and I love this character so much. Like, I love her fighting style, and like then they're all gone. Everyone's disappeared. There's not one left. Not one left. None.
But yeah, I mean, she's just a character like. Yeah, we saw this happen with like Kazumi and Katarina, both in, like at least like twice. Is that got nerfed, and then people were like, this character's useless now, and then a bunch of people won tournaments with them, and people were like, oh yeah, she's fine, she's still good. But it's because everyone will run away from these tournaments because they are, from these characters the minute they get nerfs because they're dirt boring. But those characters are actually still like really good.
You're right, though. You're right. So where would you? So do you agree here, Dino, Lydia? Right, like in C.
Yeah, I mean every character, like even C is like every character in C is like a good character.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, no, you're right.
Even this is possibly like an understatement. Like she's still, in terms of all her key moves, she's made her like top tier. Like most of them are still, down forward 2, forward 2.
You think B? You think low B then? For now.
Yeah, why not? Just because it'll be funny.
Yeah. Okay, what about Eddie?
He's just average. Just an average character.
C as well.
And he's he's like a good character.
Yeah. C is not. Yeah, C is not like. It doesn't mean they're shit. It just means like compared to all these other guys above, like the S and the A's. Like,
yeah, he's got tons of good things. Super abusable mid string. Whatever it is, back 2-3. He's got 2 safe backswing blows, one of which is a launcher, and the other one is like just sidesteps things.
Cool.
He's got a low which is -4 on block. He's got a like, in terms of like moves you just throw out because they're a launcher and they might work. Sidestep both kicks is probably like literally the best one of these in the game. And yeah, he's just fine. He's just he's really annoying to play against.
Cool. No, I think you're right. See, so then would you put him above Negan or below Negan?
In terms of ease of use?
Yeah, ease of use, yeah.
He's probably a bit harder than Shaheen. He's got a bit of like complexity to some of his stances and stuff, but he's not actually very hard to play.
Okay.
So I'd put him. He's probably slightly. I mean, he's about the same as Armor King, but just in a really different way.
Cool. No, that's
and as Changbang says, Eddie's forward 4 is like really hard for a lot of characters to punish. And that's an evasive, ground hitting mid launcher.
Yeah, and a lot of the casts they said can't punish it correctly.
Yeah, because he can either roll backwards, or he can power crush, or he can even do stuff like handstand sidestep. But yeah, it's very difficult to actually punish that move. And some characters just sort of can't. They just don't have an option which covers all the options.
No, cool. That sounds good. Eddie's in a good place. What about Xiaoyu?
Average. Sorry, Changbang.
Average. Do we agree, guys, that C again?
In fact, this is an upgrade from where she used to be. Yeah, so Changbang agrees. Yeah.
See, everyone believes that. Everyone thinks she's C.
Yeah, bottom of C. She's really hard to play.
Yeah, I think before she was a bit higher, right, or not? I think with the setups, she had like some crazy setups by the wall and stuff, and and she got an improved rage strike as well. But yeah, no, they took away like a lot of her stuff. Yeah,
it wasn't a great patch. They just should have made her down forward 2-1 do flip over and just kept the wall thing. They should have done something to Akuma's dive kick, and everyone would have been happier. Yeah, so like she's not a character you're going to see very often because she's, I think, one of the weakest characters in one of the hardest characters in average tier.
Yeah, cool. No, that makes sense. And see, what about Josie?
Flawed. I'd put her in flawed tier at the bottom.
This one.
Bottom tier.
Bottom tier, but next to.
She's not hard to play at all. Probably next to Bears, like to the right of Bears.
That's right, Bears. Cool. The tier list is looking nice, though. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking good. Does everyone here agree that Josie goes deep?
Thinks she's bottom of C, but No, there's too many people who are better than me who are just like, this character's shit. Like me to discount it. I've never been particularly great against Josie. I'm not gonna lie. I think the problem is that a lot of her stuff, including her switch stance stuff, it really starts to pull off once you start. So you get better at movement and whiff punishing because her like switch stance is good on block, but if you miss it, you're in serious trouble.
Okay.
Also, she just has some rotten matchups. Like Zafina, for example, she has like -14 lows or -13 lows, and you'd be like, "Can I launch them with Josie?" And the answer is no. You cannot launch them with Josie. You're just going to get while standing 4 maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got some matchup issues, but she's fine. I get, even these characters and even the bottom tier characters are all pretty decent.
Yeah, they're all right. Like you said, no one is like really like shit in this Tekken. Would you say this is one of the more balanced Tekkens, right?
But yeah,
like
it's 100%
Tekken 5 was Tekken 5 had a broken character or not?
Yeah, I mean Steve in Tekken in the original Tekken 5 was
broken.
Was borderline broken, yes, but he wasn't close to it.
I wish I could have played Tekken. What about Claudio?
Claudio, I would put him A. I think this character's gone up in my estimation recently.
Why is that?
He can just control movement. Just does back one, and that. It does back one.
I think that's
like a safe mid move that has really good range. It knocks down. You just do back one, and then occasionally they'll like back away from back one.
Yeah.
They want you to whiff punish it, and then might want to do while running two, but then you should just do forward both punches instead. Never do while running two. Only do back one and forward both punches and jabs and low pokes until you get into the wall.
Claudio, like as in terms of ease of like he's quite easy, right?
He's super easy for him. He's like he's next to Marduk. Like he goes easily next to Marduk.
Yeah, no, nice. What does everyone in chat think? That they agree with this, that Claudio goes up here next to Marduk in A? I think it's a good position. What does everyone in chat think? You agree with that, or should he be lower, higher? Again, this tier list is looking really nice. A lot of people see Dino are agreeing. There's a lot of people agreeing in chat. This tier list is going really well so far. That's definitely like it looks good. Like let's. I think there's some controversial characters coming very soon. Oh, let's try Hwoarang. What do you think?
Again, he's going to be a character. Like I can't tell. I hate him. Want him gone. People are going to be like he's bottom tier. I really doubt it. I've got to be honest. I've had this happen so many times. There's a terrible character that everyone like. The terrible, boring character, and they receive a bunch of nerfs, and everyone's like, "Man, they're rubbish now."
Yeah.
Just don't think Hwoarang's going to be rubbish. I think he's just average. He's average and he's really easy.
So
I think I would put him like
the top of D.
Yeah, top of C.
Top of C.
I don't think he goes in bottom tier. I don't think he goes in bottom tier. I don't think that character can go in bottom tier.
Okay, so you say top of C, above Negan then?
Yeah, why not?
Nice.
In terms of pure easiness, yeah, you just hang around at range, and you do a mid, do a low, just mash a bunch, and then maybe you'll die and maybe you'll win.
Guys in chat, do you agree that Hwoarang goes at the top of C? These are ones he has. Some people said he has almost no tracking, no counter hit game, and no decent lows. They say Dino.
Lows do so much damage though.
They said top of C. They think is a bit too high, Dino.
I don't think he's like better than anyone in C. I just think he's really easy to play. His lows are pretty much launch, but they've always been launch. They were like launch back when he was the best character in the game. I think his main changes were like 3+4 being made to like that actually genuinely hurt him. With 3+4 being made to 3+4 being like jab punishable and his magic 4 going.
What about the fact that he's got the worst sidestep in the game, though, Dino?
I mean, there's tons of bigs have really bad sidesteps. He's also got like a launching punch parry, kick parry, and he's just like he's got a generic down forward 1, which most big, or at least like a semi-generic downforward one, which like most bigs don't really have. So he can like just like start a poking game from outside the range where other characters can start their poking games. But yeah, he still like punishes stuff on block really hard. He still does huge damage on juggles.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, you know,
yeah, back one also went as Changbang said. But I mean, we're literally talking a character that like won multiple tournaments, even after like any really significant nerfs. And then like,
you know, he got nerfed Dino, and we never heard from him again.
Yeah,
non-existent. And
I mean, I just don't think like. Seen it happen so many times that there's like a genuine tournament winning character and then they receive a bunch of nerfs and people are like, now this character is the worst thing in the game.
Yeah, and that's where that's where they were putting him in like D, you know, like a couple of months ago. So I guess
he's really, as Changbang is saying in the chat, he's really boring.
Okay.
He's really boring. You don't like, he's not really particularly like Tekken-y. Like you don't move around much, you just dial in strings from miles away. But I think he's still good. He's just a terrible character, and why would you want to play him?
Cool. No, that's perfect, guys. Are we all agreeing in that with Hwoarang at the top of C? You know, he's not the worst character in the game. He has been nerfed, but you know, he's still viable. Is everyone like, you know, Dinosaur's given his explanation? Do you agree? One person agrees. Nice, Jajalo. Good stuff. Capital Kingu. Does this make him best of C though, or easiest of C? I guess they're both. I guess.
We haven't finished making C.
Yeah, we haven't finished making C, but also as well, I think we need to stress, correct me if I'm wrong, Dino, but we're saying like, we're ordering them in terms of ease of like, you know, we're saying like, okay, Hwoarang is the easiest of C for now, which therefore makes him the best of C, because in Tekken, the easier the character is, the better the character is.
Pretty much.
Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Just to say it as clearly
more reliable.
More reliable, right? So therefore, if you use like Hwoarang, for example, as opposed to Ling, right, it's easier to win with Hwoarang because of the tools he has. That's how this tier list is being based on.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good. Okay, so then, yeah, that's what we're saying, Capital King. That's true. AK is hard with Crouch. Shaheen too high, then Armor King is easy. Okay, we're starting to get some questions now. Shaheen is too high then, Felix Dredd said. Armor King is quite easy.
I think Armor King is quite execution requirement, quite execution heavy. If you have to like, you want to dark up a punishing things, you want to do like wave dash into giant swing or instant shining wizard. He's got quite a lot of execution. I think he's a bit easier than regular King, but he's also a character where like, if you like, this is for like really like higher level type stuff.
Yeah.
At lower levels, he's like many characters. He's dead easy because you just do like weird flips, and then you just mash out Dark Upper every now and again, and no one will punish it. You just do Giant Swing, and no one will break it, and you do down back 3 all the time. He's obviously like quite a scrub. He's quite a scrub magnet.
Yeah. Well, what is the definition of a scrub magnet? Is that just a character that is a character that's good for scrubs? Is that what you're saying? For
I mean, but he's like I said, we've got him as he's a genuinely hard character, but like, there's a big difference between how people play him at intermediate level and how people play him at like top level. He's not difficult. Like Brian is like this. Brian is not a difficult character at intermediate level. You just do back 1 and I don't know, orbital and snake edge. I don't know, but he's not really very difficult.
Yeah, but at high level, it becomes very hard, right?
Yeah.
Someone said I'm confused. Is this tier list for execution only? No. No, this is just like...
That's why Zhao Yu and Yoshimitsu are at the bottom.
Yeah, guys, this is a tier list on who we think is like... I guess the best way to put it, you know, it's always hard because there's so many different factors right now. One could have like a tier list for, you know, execution. One could have a tier list for, you know, best tournament character. Another one for best, you know, first to 10 character, first to 20 character. You know, it's all different. But I think this is more of an overall kind of, you know, taking every single aspect. You know, first to 10s, tournament, ease of use. You know, it's taken everything into consideration, not just execution or not just first to 2s. Because some characters in first to 2, Bob would be like much higher, right? Whereas, you know, in the overall scheme of things, Bob is quite low. He's not as high as, you know, one might think he is. So yeah, guys, just a reminder, it's an overall, right? Everything. But we are ordering this in terms of ease of use in each kind of level here, right? So like, for example, Fakenram is easier than Ling. Gigas is easier than Yoshimitsu. Feng is easy. No, actually, did we do the S? Feng is easier than Julia. Yes, that's correct.
Feng, yeah, the S is
that's
done.
correct. That's
correct.
correct.
The only thing is like B. Obviously, Lydia is easier than Eliza.
Okay.
Again, Eliza is another character where there's a massive difference between like intermediate and high level play. Intermediate play, she's just one of the easiest characters to play in the game.
I guess we need to take everything into consideration. Like, you know, if at high level they're like super hard, but at low level they're super easy, then, you know, we have to take that into consideration. But then you could say that every character at low level is like easy, I guess, right? So
you can just get better.
Yeah,
and then immediately you just sort of change the dynamic.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So all right, we're good here. Guys, remember, if you have any questions, please just put a question mark at the end of it so that we could ask Dino. But I won't be reading out every question because, you know, I don't want to take up too much of your time, Dino, again. But I'll read out definitely a few of them. So we'll go to another character now. Asuka, Dino.
Average.
Average?
C-tier.
In between.
C-tier. She's actually quite tricky to play. I would put her above. Above Eddie. I think she's actually slightly harder to play than Eddie is.
Okay, cool.
Sorry,
perfect.
So I'd put her to the right of Eddie. I think she's
to the right of Eddie. Yeah. Okay, to the right of Eddie. Yeah. Okay, what does everyone think about that? Do you agree that this is a good position for Asuka, guys? Is this a good position?
Yeah, she's a intermediate destroyer.
Yep.
Like, she's not difficult to play at intermediate level, but like you want to play her at higher level, you have to get used to not having a proper jab punisher. Like, she's just a weird character. She's got like lots of little strange execution things which you can mess up. Like, you've seen lots of times where
the rage drive,
will,
right?
Like, mess up the rage drive, or, you know, her full crouch down forward 2 counter hit thing, magic 4 combos. She got like quite a lot of like moderately tricky execution. She's actually quite hard.
Oh, cool. And also there it says Asuka has a lot of insanely bad matchups. Is that true, Dino?
I think there's some like pretty bad ones. I think mostly like characters with like big elbows and knees and stuff, and who can control range. But I don't think like anyone has really insanely bad matchups in this game. Like,
not like Street Fighter, basically, whereas like it's really bad.
She's all right against like a bunch of popular tournament characters as well. Like, she's genuinely pretty good against some of them. Like, she's genuinely quite good against Akuma, and she's pretty decent against Steve as well.
Cool.
Yeah, like Changbang says, Julia, Kunimitsu, Zafina, to some extent Brian, like Feng. Are all sort of troublesome Asuka matchups, but she's fine. Like I said, she's just in this, like an average character. I think. Cool. I think slightly better than like the ones in the tier below. I think, because she has more reason to play her in like against certain matchups.
Cool, nice. No, you know, there seems to be no pushback on that. Everyone here is quite. Is in agreement to that. There's no questions as well. So again, Dino, thanks for that explanation on Asuka. Everyone seems very, like I said, they're all agreeing here, which is good. What about Leroy? Dino, Leroy.
S. I think he's in the same tier as like Katarina. I think he's not quite as good as the people above that.
He's in B, the top of B.
Top of he's in B. He's probably about as easy as Lydia. He's not as easy as Katarina. I think anyone's as easy as Katarina, apart from like Noctis and Claudio.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well, Dino. You know, Leroy is a character that I've seen start to emerge very recently, obviously because of you see Chikarin use him at the TWT finals. I faced Chikarin as well, and in the LCQ, and it was really hard to get around Leroy. You know, he still has really good tools, in my opinion. Like, you know, the home and hell sweep, his parry, What's the tracking move? Is it back 4 or back 3?
Yeah, back 4.
Back
that's really
4.
good.
Like
that's one of his only moves which has stayed crazy.
He has really good tools, and whenever I was speaking to people about Leroy, most people would be like, no, he's not that good. He's not that good. But I genuinely think he's super strong. He is like he's obviously not a Feng or like a Geese or an Akuma, but he is still viable. But he's been dropped by many people. He's been dropped by loads of players. They I haven't heard from Leroy in ages, and then all of a sudden, Chikrin picks him up and starts using him in tournament, and now there's a bunch of Leroys everywhere again. So again, I think Leroy, this positioning, if anyone has any questions about this, again, feel free to answer. But I don't know, I feel quite happy putting Leroy high B.
Yeah, I mean, he's got really good defense. He can parry things. He's got really good offense. He's got like poke lows. He's got damage chunky lows.
Yep.
He's got like his mid's pretty strong.
He's got a good whiff punisher as well, right?
Really good whiff punishers, like several of them for like different things. He's a bit more complicated than people give him credit for, just because he has a lot of like different moves you want to use for different things. Sometimes you want to whiff punish with back 3. Sometimes you want to whiff punish with forward 2-2. Like how to make his parries and Sabaki's work. He's got some issues, like his lows don't really give him his turn very well, and they're often like pretty bad on block. Like his down back 4 is -14, his down 2 is -15. So he doesn't really have like super safe like low options that do much, and like he can be whiff punished a bit. Like his back both punches as a counter hit move can be a bit whiff punished a bit more easy than like Magic 4s can. But yeah, he's good. Cool.
No, that's good. Good. Leroy is, again, a lot of people are fine with it right now. So yeah, the tier list looking good right now. What about Noctis?
Probably he's a bit harder than Lydia, I would say.
Yeah.
I would put him.
Okay.
I would say he's
a bit harder than Lydia.
He's a bit to the right of Lydia.
Okay. All right.
He needs to use a bit more stuff.
Cool. Nice one. We move on to Noctis.
Okay, he's going to be getting into a brutal fight with Katarina at the top of B. I mean, for who is the actual like. I mean, this is a really like, who is easier, Katarina or Noctis? That is a tricky ass question. Because on the one hand,
who is more brain dead, right? Like who requires the least effort? Who is the easiest?
The problem is that, so in terms of actual difficulty to play them, I think Noctis is maybe very slightly higher, because he doesn't have a lot of like successful tournament players is having like weird gimmicks to tire people out. That's happens at every level of play. It's not just like fun, people using 4 things. A lot of it is, do you have move list diversity and stuff like this? The problem is Noctis really doesn't have very many things. Like Serena's Harrier stance is much more mentally tiring to deal with than Noctis, which is like, it's just going to be like 3 or 4 things. But I don't know whether this makes Noctis easier or harder.
I guess stream chat. You can tell us, stream chat. What do you think? Noctis easier than Katarina or harder than Katarina? But it seems like we all agree that Noctis does go in B for sure. But just whether it's is an easier character or a harder character. What do you guys think? Someone said Instant Noodle said easier to play, harder to win. Don't know.
Yeah, most people I think are saying that Cat's easier. I'm willing to sign off on that. I think
nice. Okay, Cat is easier.
If you're gonna just like can play like a super functional game with her, but then you can also just like fart out some weird stuff every now and again. It'll probably work. And that's something that Noctis can't really do. He's really boring.
Do you know that we should? Do you know what? One day we should do like which characters should be deleted from Tekken. I think Noctis would be one of them for me. Ling would be another one for me.
I love Ling.
No, I really don't like Ling.
She's cool.
No, I don't like her at all. I would delete her. I would also delete Lily, Nina, Lucky Chloe, Anna, Negan, the Bears. Bro, if I made Tekken Dino, I'd make such a great game. Honestly, I'll make it great.
Yeah, you're coming off. You're just a misogynist here.
No, that's not true. I said Negan. I said Negan. So.
No, the only characters I would delete would be Noctis and Fakramran.
Cool. No, nice. This is okay. This is good so far. What do we think about Lei? I know.
Average? He's average. He's just like C.
I would say he's quite well. In my opinion, he's quite hard to use. He has a bunch
actually very hard.
He's a bunch of different
stances,
like
to use.
A bunch of different stances.
Not very complicated stances though.
See, but where?
Who's the? I think he's easier than Asuka. Sorry, Lei players. Is he easier than Eddie?
Is Lei easier? Is Lei easier, guys, than Asuka and Eddie?
It's about the same as Eddie. I don't really think there's much of a difference. I'd say he's probably easier because, again, it's times when you can just run up to people and sweep them.
It's unseeable low, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I remember there was this one guy on Tekken Zaibatsu earlier, years ago. He said he could see hell sweeps on reaction. I don't know if you remember that, Dino.
Yep.
Yep, and he got roasted, like he got just destroyed on Tekken Zaibatsu. And I remember hearing a few people say that Lei's one is reactable as well. Some people said they can react to Lei's sweep, but I don't. Not sure.
Yep. So I'd put Lei. I would put him to the left of Eddie. He's really not that hard to play. Like most of his stances are
to the left of Eddie here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of his stances are pretty straightforward. As Chang Veng said, you can just sort of do forward, forward 3 and sweep. It goes blur.
Do you know what? If Lei is this easy, I might just try and use him.
He's quite fun. He's quite fun.
Yeah, people are saying that he's easy and I didn't know that. Let me I might just pick him up once.
He's quite fun. There's only like 3 moves you need to use. You need to learn for every stance. Some of his stances are just almost useless.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. Like he's got a lot of. There is a reasonable amount of like. You can squeeze a little. You can squeeze stuff out of him at like the very top level. Like really, really good Lei players are. Who know exactly when to go into which grounded stance because it will be more because it will fade things faster and so on. It does get trickier at that like kind of level, but honestly, like his combos are super easy. His neutral is not hard to learn. Yeah, he's
cool.
Quite straightforward.
No,
really.
Perfect. That sounds good. All right, we move on to Kunimitsu.
A, towards the top of A.
Wow. Okay. Above Marduk?
No, I don't think anyone can go above Marduk.
Next,
or Claudio. I think even she can't go above Claudio, unfortunately.
She's
a bit trickier than Claudio. Yeah. And again, like another like pretty horrendous character to play against, but
no, definitely. Do people agree that it would go in the middle of A for now, guys? 2-2, yeah, 2-2 is just super busted, Dino, because you could just run in, jab, 2-2, back away, 2-2-2, back away, 2-2. Like it's just super safe, and you have to respect the 2-2 as well. I heard it's got very good tracking as well, no?
It's 12 frames. It's basically a homing move. It's a weapon, so most people can't parry it.
Yeah.
Like, it's high mid, so you can't duck the second hit. It's really like so. Basically, she's got this game where she wants to do anything from range. She just presses her get in button, which is set, and then does 2, doesn't do 2, and that's it. That's her approach game. And then once she's in, it's just 2-2 or something else.
Yeah.
Like, Noctis sort of has this bit as well, where he just does forward for both punches and 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
But like she's like super obnoxious. Like her problems are like her lows aren't that fantastic, and she takes a lot of risk.
You think she's quite boring, Dinosaur?
Quite boring. I think she could be an interesting character, like with her ability to go between stances, but she just isn't. Like, she's a character like, I don't know, like maybe Claudio or something, where you can see that this character, or like Leroy, you can see that this character could be cool, but she isn't because she has 2-2 and set 2. She's got some tricky stuff like block punishing with forward 4-2 and crouch dash 2. But she's the only thing that makes her even, like, which means that she isn't above like Claudio and Marduk. not a fun character.
Yeah. No, nice. No, cool. Again, it's looking good so far. The tier list is looking great. What about King? You were actually Dino. You just a bit of background. You were a King main at one point, right? Back in Tekken. Which Tekken did you main King? Was Tekken 6?
Well, he was part of my main team in Tag 2. Other than that, I've played him basically since in every Tekken that he's come out in since Tag 1.
And so, what do you think of him? Now, Tekken.
Ridge, same as Armor King. He's the same character as Armor King, but he's just a bit harder. Put him just to the left of Armor King.
Okay. Does everyone agree with King's position? Yeah.
Armor King is basically King for. Oh yeah, sorry, to the right. Yeah, sorry, thank you.
To the right. Yeah.
He's basically Armor King is just King for cowards. King is just a bit. He's just a bit harder.
Did I hear correctly? What was that? Armor King is just King for cowards, basically, right?
Yeah. Just like
the cowards would use the Armor King.
See, he was like when characters started to become sort of a bit more generic. Like, Armor King is a classic example of what a generic version of King looks like. He's got a generic down forward 1. He's got a shoulder check, which everyone has. He's got a knockoff version of the Mishima Godfist. So King is basically, he has some more strengths than Armor King. He's got like push, and his rage drive is a bit better. He's a bit more explosive. But he's got count hit down forward 2-1.
Yeah, and he has all the grabs as well, like you were saying. He's got exactly the same grabs. They both got grabs. Yeah. They both got an amazing grab game, right? Like none is stronger than the other in terms of grab games.
King's probably slightly better, but like he's also got slightly better mids. But it's not as much of a difference as it used to be. But the main thing is like King's really bad when is pretty bad when he misses things. He's a character where if he misses his down forward 1, he's in much more trouble than pretty much any other character missing their down forward 1. Like his general pokes, so just like sidestep blocking and stuff is quite good against him, and also in general the Kings have suffered from the change to the throw system, which means that it's much more easier to
break grabs in this game, right? Compared to
this game, yeah. Even like the really hard stuff like Shining Wizard and Giant Swing, and like seeing those together with like his regular both punches, grabs, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, but he's average, but like again, average characters are good in this game. Everyone's good.
Yeah, but again, because we have like D and C, it doesn't mean that they're like shit in the game. It just means that they're not as strong as the guys above. Cool.
Capsule King said, "What about his tracking on down forward 2 and down forward 1?" Yeah, that is good. It's just like in the end, it doesn't end up being rewarding enough for the risk you take, because again, he's much more vulnerable to getting whiff punished than other characters I think are. And so he can get poked out a bit. But I think he's good. Like, I don't really think there's huge differences. Counter hit down forward 2-1 is rewarding, but only on some characters.
Also, King's so flying impacts. There's also King's crouch dash chain throw is slower than Armor King's.
Yes, that is true.
Down forward 2 counter hit is not rewarding.
I mean, it is, but it depends on the character. Like some characters, he gets his full jumping knuckle bomb thing, and other characters, he just gets like E-kicks or people's elbow.
Cool. So, guy, does everyone agree roughly? Like for now, we put C. Sorry, not C. We put King at low C.
He's quite hard.
Someone asked as well, Slayer Slice, is King's big size a disadvantage?
Yeah, his sidestep is pretty shit. Yeah, basically. It means that his sidestep's pretty poor, and his panic moves aren't amazing.
Cool. No, that's a good position for King. Looks like everyone's all right in agreement. Can you do Brian Fury next, please? We'll do Brian Fury very soon. Gunryu.
He's an interesting one. I'm not really sure. I think you could either argue that he's towards the top of B or that he's towards the top of C. I'm going to put him towards the top of C just to be. I think he does have some matchup issues.
And he's very easy to use.
He's really easy to use. Yeah, maybe you can put him at the top of C. I don't mind.
Yeah. I think Gunryu is down forward 2 alone is ridiculous. And what's his lows at down forward 3? Down forward 3, the +5 or +4 or some shit on hit. Like it just locks you down at the wall. You're terrified. You know, you really don't really want to move. Don't want to do anything. You have to respect that +4, +5 low. What do you guys think? Any questions in chat? Because you know, Gunryu, I believe it is quite a strong character, quite easy to use as well. Frees up a lot of the brain to focus on other parts of Tekken. He has good pokes. Yep. Someone said Gunryu top B. No chance. Okay, Gunryu top of C is fair. Okay. Another one, Moko Unicorn says because nobody knows the matchup. Is it really constant guessing on his down forward 3 and down forward 2 close up, Dino?
Yeah, pretty much. What else are you gonna do? You just like. But yeah, I mean, there's some issues where like he's not great at punishing -10. Some characters can like abuse their own punishment against him because he struggles to punish -10 himself sometimes. But yeah, as I said, it's really easy. You just do forward 1, down forward 2, down forward 3, like a clap, and then other stuff sometimes.
So it's really basic, right? But so effective, so effective. What about? Oh, this is a good one. Leo.
B. I think B.
B, but
I don't think she's quite. She could be A. I don't know. I don't think she's quite A. But
maybe between Lydia and Noctis, would you say, or further down?
Quite hard. I'd put her. No, she's hard. She'd be next to Eliza. She's got lots of like tricky pickups. Lances aren't that great. Yeah, I'll put her to the. Yeah, that's fine.
So execution is hard. Someone said in order to get decent damage.
Yeah.
All right, Nina.
Nina. She's A. I think she's a good character. Really good character.
You think she's good? Has Jod's performance like, you know, kind of solidified or influenced your decision?
I just think she's a good character. She's got like a homing whole frame hook. She's got like a down forward 2. She's hard to hit.
So whereabouts would you put her in A in your opinion?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. At the end, she's like easily the hardest weak character we've put in that tier so far.
Okay. So guys, what does everyone think? Does anyone have any questions about the Nina?
The BM is upset about.
It seems like it seems like the BM's upset, but I can't go off like, you know, he said what? That's all he said. Like I can't go off that, but she's got backsway launcher that's underrated. Yeah, Nina's quite hard. Yep. Nina is never A if Kat and Leo is not.
I think she's better than those characters. She has more like. She has like more things she can do. She's just like a really deep character. She's got lots of different applicable moves, like standing 1, up forward 1. She also has like cheap, boring stuff like down forward 1, 2, and like she's got magic 4, like okay. Block punishment isn't great, but that doesn't really matter all that much. She has quite good matchups against lots of the top tier characters. She's quite decent against Akuma for a number of reasons. Like she's very difficult for him to focus attack. She can slide under things. Like if she does slide, slide is one of the lows where you're not going to get jumped and killed for it because Akuma will simply jump over you and you'll be miles away. And it will also launch. They will also launch him for doing lazy focus attacks. In general, Akuma just can't really do focus attack in that matchup.
A rage drive is good too, they said.
Yeah, rage drive's good. Wall carry is really good. She's just hard. She's really hard to play.
Oh, in terms of execution and like butterfly, right, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, like sidestep one cancels, butterfly. Just like her combo routes change quite a lot depending on what angle you're at. She's got like tricky conversions, like when she's got a normal hit launcher in sidestep both punches, but you have to do it. You have to sidestep to the right side, and you also have to get quite a tricky dash up into down two. So yeah, I think she's like a really good character. In some ways, I would argue that she's like actually better than like characters like Zafina. I think she's got more depth to her.
No, I think that's going a bit too far, right? Then I think that's like better than Zafina.
I'm just thinking. I mean, Zafina's just like the thing about Zafina is that she's good against like she's fine against a bunch of characters that you'll encounter
a lot of majority of the time, right?
Around that area, yeah. Like she's decent against like Marduk and stuff.
Yeah, there's someone there. Like someone Jajala says Nina better than Zafina. No chance, man.
I mean, everyone's gonna say that because everyone gets like. I've never been like a Zafina believer particularly. I think she's all right.
Okay, no, that's fair, but no, that's good so far. We can leave that. There. That's good. What about? Let's go on to some juicy ones here. What about Brian Dinosaur? Brian.
A. Maybe A. Yeah, May. Why not A?
A around.
A at the bottom. There we
go. So you're saying A at the bottom because he obviously he's a very strong character, but requires a lot of execution, like a bonkers amount of execution, right? Like it's difficult.
Yeah, he's also just like he's got pretty sluggish movement, and or at least also he's a bit like King in that he has like really bad whiff recovery on all his moves. Not all of them, but quite a lot of them. Like his generics, like down forward 2-1. Yeah, he's obviously like incredibly powerful. You can't really run away from him at all because he's got such good blows.
Yeah.
He's got really high juggle damage. He's got really good range control. He's got really good homing moves. He hits like a fucking truck.
And 3+4 as well, Dino, right? That's like
3+4, like tons of good counter hit moves. Kills you by the wall.
It's 3+4. 3+4 is minus, right, Dino? It's actually minus.
Minus 13.
Minus 13.
Some characters can punish it on block.
Which characters can punish that on?
Armor King and Kunimitsu.
Are they the only two that can do that?
Any kind of reliability. Otherwise, other people can, but they need to do stuff like sidestep blocking.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah.
No,
Fakam apparently.
Fakam as well with standing free apparently. Yeah, he has a good
as I says, like down forward 1 is good with Brian. Yeah, I mean, he's a really strong character. He's just, he's tricky and weird.
Cool. No, that's good. Brian is in a nice position there. What about Jack?
Average. He's towards the top of C. He's with all the other big characters at the top of C.
Here.
I don't know. Is he easier than Ganryu? He's probably not. Got a bit more movement diversity than Ganryu. He's a bit harder than Ganryu. Is he easier than Fakam? I don't really know enough about Fakam to say.
Is he easier than Negan then?
Probably not. I'm not. I'm just because I hate Fakam. I'm going to say that Jack is harder than Fakam. No, Jack is easier than Negan. I'm sorry, Negan. I'm sorry, Jack players.
Let's see. He has good luck. I think he lacks combo damage in general. Jack feels a lot better than some of the others in C. I think you could argue Jack lacks wall carry and combo damage. It seems everyone's on the same wavelength, which is good. Yeah, Jack. We'll leave Jack.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just fine.
Cool.
Just like
that's good.
He's easy. He's got some matchup issues. Like if you got a character who can just do mids over and over again, then Jack sort of struggles a bit. So you just run him over with like Julia stuff.
Yeah.
We saw this kind of we saw this happening with like Anakin.
Yeah.
against the Korean Julias, right, is that he started doing well against them when they were playing like regular Tekken, like
Yes.
space and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then the more they started just like repeatedly just hammering on buttons,
yeah,
the more you realize Jack can't really get away from that kind of stuff.
yeah. I remember. I think it was John Ding versus Anakin, wasn't it? Or which one was it? It was someone where they started off really defensive and Anakin was playing really well, and then they decided, oh wait, I'm gonna just mash and just be full aggressive against Jack, and they just completely locked him down. It was so difficult.
Yeah, so stuff like Geese, to some extent Miguel, all these characters can just sort of keep battering him.
Cool.
But other than that, he's super easy to play, which is really valuable. It's just like all you do is 2, full crash down back 1, and forward 1, and then you whiff punish with down forward 2,
and then
and then but he's also got like lots of he's also really got tons of gimmicks as well.
He does. Yeah. I think down 2 strings, right?
Like,
down to 1 and like into
down 2 strings. Like, be like, oh, do you remember debugger? Here's debugger. If you mess up a throw every now and again, you're instantly dead. Planting the seeds, maybe you won't remember that. Up forward 2, like he's got tons of like move lists.
Yeah.
He's got lots of utility, so you can rob people as well. Yeah, if they just start mashing him to death, struggles a bit.
Definitely, yeah, no, cool, good stuff. What about Steve?
A. I think he's A.
Yeah. In terms of, he's quite difficult to use, no? Or would you?
Yeah, he's hard. Maybe difficult to say because he can have a very simple game plan. He often requires a lot of like small like things of execution. He's definitely with like basically Brian, Nina, and Steve are all in their own little thing. They all have different kinds of execution.
Okay, so it'd be good to put him like
they're all about the same. Yeah, any of these 3 in any order is fine.
Cool.
They've all got things which are easier for them and things which are harder for them.
No, that sounds good. Sounds good with Steve. Steve is insane, but struggles versus the current top tiers. Bad meta for him. He got nerfed as well, right? Dino, like as in he was super strong before, but yeah, it got nerfed a bit. So it just means that Steve players have to work a lot harder. But a lot of people again dropped Steve. A lot of people dropped Steve. Loads.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he's very good. I think his only real issue is Marduk. I don't think any of the other stuff is really like that troubling for him. Akuma, he's not great against Akuma. He's fine against everyone else. He's good against Julia. He's okay against Geese. He's really good against Claudio. He's quite good against Kunimitsu. I think he's actually really good against Kunimitsu. He's good against Elisa. He's okay against Zafina. He's okay against Nina. He's good against Brian. I think Marduk is his main thing, just because Marduk can mix him up from far away.
Cool.
And Steve can't do anything about it.
Nice. And Steve. Some people said they would like to learn him, but he looks so complex.
He's not that hard. He's not actually that hard to learn. He's quite hard, but it's just like when you get down to the you have to learn some like subtle stuff with like flicker and peekaboo and so on.
Yeah, someone just mentioned Law right now. I think Law's a good character to speak about next. I've been using him a lot in ranked, though. He's very. I think he's very fun. I enjoy playing Law. But yeah, where would you put him on this list?
Bridge, C-tier.
C-tier, yeah. Would you say he has some easy tools? His 3+4 whiff punisher, his forward 1+2 very strong. Counter hit launcher, a great low as well, down back 3. But
yeah, he's quite. I think he's underratedly difficult. I think. Put him probably around. He's basically around above Asuka. I would put him to the right of Asuka.
Yeah.
In terms of where he goes.
There's a lot of discussion in Law. Is B for me. I'd say B. There's a lot of people that say a B here. Guys, again, what's your reasoning in chat for B? Because he's gone straight to mid C right now. And there's a lot of I think lots of people would say A. A. What about A, Dinosaur?
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's. He's got a few problems. Like, firstly, he's a character who got like no benefits from any of the new Tekken 7 stuff, right? All of his like his power crush, his rage drive, everything is just pretty shit.
Yeah, it is.
Like his rage drive's okay now, but it's still not great.
His power crush is shit.
His lows are not particularly great, and also like they don't high crush at all, which means that he sort of always has to take a choice between like pressuring and, I mean, I guess unless you're doing down one, you always have to take. He always has to like take a choice between like doing down back 3 and like jabs. He can't. He doesn't have much option coverage there. He's just not like super explosive. Unless he's hitting down, unless he's hitting down forward too. It just, there's all these points with like other characters, like when you're playing, if you're playing Zafina or whatever, there'll be points where you just, someone misses and you'll just hit them with like down forward 1-4 for a tiny whiff punish, and or whatever it is. Is it down forward 1-4? Or down
someone said his forward 4 is a low high crush, right?
Yeah, but it's also launch punishable. In general, it's probably just better to do. It's probably just better to do down 1 in that case.
There's someone who agrees with you there. Phaleon says, "I agree with C. To be honest, he is annoying, but like compared to Leo there. So okay."
Yeah, again, everyone in this tier is still like a good character that you can win with at the top level. But I think just in terms of, he needs to win lots of exchanges. There's lots of like characters like Akuma and Geese and so on. Like when he goes up against these kind of characters, he has to like poke away at them for so long that they always end up getting meter, and they always get a chance to just delete him. He has to.
They said forward 4-3 is not launch; it's -14.
Oh no! Slayer Size meant forward 4 when he meant whatever it is they've changed it now. I did this as well. He means banana peel, and that's what I was thinking of him. It's like down forward both kicks.
Yeah, we just got someone, Lydia in the
slide.
Lydia in the same tier with Leo. My cat shit is more worth than this tier list. Nice.
Fair enough.
Very.
Ram is goated. Oh, this is clearly a person of tremendous taste.
Yeah. This is a guy who has like, you know, probably 150 IQ. He's probably, you know, he's probably a fucking green rank anyway, man. Yeah, he's probably first down or something. So your opinion doesn't. I'm not going to say any more about that. So yeah, let's, you know, if you're going to say something, you know, guys, say something productive. Don't just say, you know, my cat shit is worth more than this tier list. Yeah, I don't know, but cool. No, nice one, Dino. Thanks for the explanation for that one. We've got a few more to go. You know, we've done a great job. Thank you again, Dino, for taking time out your day. I know you're very busy, and you know, I really do appreciate it. The chat does appreciate your knowledge. You know, you've got a vast amount of knowledge. Thank you. I need to treat you to a nice meal very soon, man. You need to take you out or something, man. It'd be great. But yeah, no, thank you, man. What about Anna, Dino?
And she's a really weird one because she's so random. Like, she's such a like randomness bomb.
What about you know, I used Anna for a bit, Dino as well.
Blow up in your face.
What do you think? Easy as well? Or?
She's pretty easy, yeah, but she's got some execution stuff, and
I can still hear you, Dino, but I just need to get something.
Stances and her like ability to cancel out them all have been made like a bit more complicated and stuff like this. She's a bit more like detailed than she used to be.
Okay.
She's one of the characters where like I might put her in B.
Okay. Stronger than all the characters in C. Really? Guys in the chat, what do you think?
I don't know if she's actually. That's the thing. I don't know if she's actually stronger than them. But I mean, it's really hard to say because she's so risky. Oh, she's not actually that risky. But yeah, let's be safe. Let's put her in C. But let's put her right towards the. I mean, she's either it's difficult to say whether she's like a slightly trickier good character or a really dumb bad character. a really dumb, easy, bad character.
They said so. So again, the chat. We need your help. Phalion, she is dumb to play against. Someone said, Kenya, well, hey guys, what the fuck? Why is Chloe down there?
Because she's pretty much universally agreed as one of the worst characters in the game. Anna. So wait a minute. Let's put Anna. She's easier than Anna is easier. Let's put her as easier than Negan. I think she put her left of Negan just because.
Yeah. Okay.
With Negan, you have to win. You have to win lots of exchanges. You have to get them to whiff punish. You have to whiff punish things. With Anna, you sort of can just run in with forward 4-3, 4-3, or forward 4-3, 4 back 3 even, and quarter circle forward 1, and then you just sort of do various flowcharts, and then at the end of it, you're dead or the other person is. So she's got some technical stuff, but she's like her game plan is so straightforward. Is pretty straightforward and doesn't sort of sidesteps a lot of the really difficult things about Tekken, which is like, how do you get in? How do you get your mix-ups going and so on? She could just sort of get in, and then
and then you're in a 50-50, right?
Yeah, and then the matchup is over, and maybe she's dead, and maybe you are.
Yeah. No, nice.
She is sort of like female Marduk, basically.
Cool. No, nice one. What do we think about Miguel?
Again, he's a tricky one. He's quite good. Is he better than average? Yeah, maybe he's better than average. For Savage too.
Yeah, it's his Sav stance. I think it's quite underrated. His Sav stance is very, very strong. Very strong.
Yep. Yeah. Just put him. I think B. He's not very hard to play. Probably about as easy as Leroy.
Okay. Yep.
So.
But harder than this side of Leroy.
Yeah.
Cool. Does everyone agree with Miguel's placement in chat? Is this a good one? Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah, no, nice. I think there's people that agree. There's no questions, guys. If you have any questions for Dino, please feel free to ask. I will read out some of them. But Miguel, no, that's cool. All right, yeah. So you're saying same level of difficulty as Leroy then, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. He's
cool.
Not very hard to play at all. He's only got he's got a couple of things which are tricky, like a couple of mid pickups off and then his lows are a bit committal, but they're not really. He's just do down forward 1, and then sometimes he might die for it, but it's he's just like a straightforward, stable character. He's got good movement, he's got good pokes, doesn't have outrageous damage or pretty much outrageous anything.
Yeah.
But he just has some and he has his stance, his savage stance mix up is really good because he just got safe mids to both sides and really powerful lows. And he's just fine. He's just the definition of he's just slightly above average, just a bit more explosive than characters like Law.
Cool. All right, no, it's perfect. Next one we're talking about is Hwoarang. So with Hwoarang, there was Kwis did incredible in the TWT finals, and Hwoarang as well, right? The rise of Hwoarang players. Obviously your good friend Mr. Starscream as well. Using Hwoarang, he is very tricky, but again divided. A lot of people who. Some say he's extremely strong, but others say he's not that good. You can step. If you know the matchup well, you can step option A, option B. It's quite easy to do certain things. But again, this is why Dino, we have you here. What's your opinion on Hwoarang? Where does he go?
I don't think he can go higher. I don't think he can go higher than Anna. I think he's just.
You're saying he can't go higher than Anna?
I think. He has, like her, he can, him being able to flowchart a whole round away is really useful. It's genuinely useful at every level of play. But he can't like get in as easily as Anna. I think he's probably slightly, you know, he doesn't have Court Cycle 1 or Forward Forward 3. I think he's like in some ways a slightly safer character. He's got, you know, good stuff like Backlash and Down Forward 4 as like a nice big hit mid homing move. And what he does have that really doesn't have is that he has a undeniably like a completely unpunishable, incredibly powerful mid with Just Frame Skyrocket.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just Frame Skyrocket, but then you can step it both ways. I've heard. I might be mistaken, but Just Frame Skyrocket is steppable to both sides. It's safe mid launcher, but if you're moving around, like he's not gonna. Yeah.
So
then next to Anna, you're saying?
I think he's got to be in the same tier as her. He's in the average characters tier. How hard is he? Definitely harder than Anna. Definitely harder than Negan. He's harder than Shaheen.
Yep.
Is he harder than Yes, he's harder than Lei. Sorry, Lei players. Is he harder than Eddie? Yes. Is he harder than Asuka? I'm gonna say no.
Okay, so this is where he goes. Here.
Let's put him to the left of Asuka. That'll be funny.
Very nice.
So that's one of the things that will annoy lots of people. So let's leave him there. So on the one hand, it'll annoy people, be like, "Hwoarang isn't hard at all. He doesn't need anything." And then, but on the other hand, there'll be a bunch of people who will be like, "Asuka."
You know what? Like, when I post this on Twitter, we'll see like the kind of comments that people say. There will be a lot of people who will question this tier list, but this is good. It's all part of the fun. Okay, next character we'll put is Lily.
Average.
C, yeah.
Lily.
Yeah.
She's quite a complete character now. She's her lows like do quite a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So you can't just like wait against her like you used to be able to. Like down 3 does a lot of damage, like actually quite a lot of damage now. Like good homing move. Down forward 3 is a good plus frame move. She can now counter hit to some extent with 4-1, but it's pretty rubbish. Yeah,
she goes in C, but where do you think it is?
But yeah,
quite easy as well, right?
She's pretty easy. She's got like some dew glide cancels and stuff that she needs to do. Nothing super. She's probably about as easy as Shaheen. Yeah.
Yeah, next to Shaheen. Yeah.
Slightly, about the same as Shaheen. I don't really know
nice.
either side.
Yeah, she's quite straightforward. People are saying in the chat, her movement is good. Oh, but someone said her movement is good though.
Yeah, it is. But also she's like vulnerable to movement herself, and she doesn't have like. I mean, she, as I said, she sort of has a magic 4 now, but she doesn't really. So her ability to like brawl up close with characters like Steve or whatever is a bit constrained.
Cool. All right. What about let's do one of the Mishimas, Devil Jin. There was a time where Devil Jin was incredibly strong, very, very good. Kudan's ripping people to shreds with Devil Jin. But now, nerfed a bit.
C. Gotta be honest.
Yeah? C?
Yeah. Don't think he works in
the
this
worst
game.
Mishima, people are saying in the chat. C? Whereabouts in C would you?
Bottom.
Because of how hard he is to use, right? Electrics.
Yeah, he's really hard.
Execution-wise. Okay. No, some people said, Felix Shred said A. But yeah, there's people saying C and B as well. So.
Yeah, he's just an average. He's just an average character. Yeah, like Slayer Slice said, you can duck against him all the time now. He doesn't really have like a super good mid. If you're playing like Akuma, for example, as the most extreme example, Devil Jin sort of has to do while standing 2 from Wave Dash for his reward, and you get almost as much damage from blocking his while standing 2 with Akuma as Devil Jin does for hitting it. And that's without meter. Akuma out damages him like quite significantly for blocking while standing 2.
Yeah.
Like he does a lot more if he's got meter.
Okay.
So like you can duck a lot apart from. I mean, his wall bounce is still okay, but again, it's quite risky because now both hits are launch punishable. That's I think his wall bounce is really the only thing, which makes me wonder about whether he should perhaps be 1 tier higher. But the only that I just don't think so. Like he's just too hard. He's really hard. Unlike any of the other Mishimas, he doesn't really have a way to keep his turn that well.
Yeah.
Like Kazuya and Heihachi can both do forward and 4. Kazuya can do like down back 4. Like it's useful, like we said with Anna and Hwoarang, to be able to loop your offense, right?
Yeah.
To just be able to like, it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn. This is great. This is always useful to have. Devil Jin doesn't really have this. He doesn't really have lows, which give him like a significant plus frame advantage. Apart from down back 2, which is seeable on reaction.
People said that as well. Devil Jin has decent punishes regardless. Devil Jin without ult up 4 feels weaker for sure as well. While standing 2, Devil Jin combo is 56 at best. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So you should be ducking like
Akuma without meter is like what does 1 DP2 do? It does like somewhere in the low 40s. Like, yeah. So he just has to basically, because he can't keep his turn, he has to fight the neutral a lot. And there's a lot of characters in this game which has insanely good neutral. They have like, you know, Leo back 1 or Leo forward 4 or Lee forward 4 or like insane down forward, insane down forward 1s and all this other kind of crazy shit. And he just has to fight that all the time.
Yeah, he lost his wall combos as well, right? It's the same.
Yeah.
Cool. No,
he just feels like he's a character who's been balanced for a different game at the moment.
Okay, Devil Jin here at the end of C. No, that's good. Nice one, Dino. Good one. What about Kazumi? Kazumi's a character that people stopped. Remember, they stopped using. Oh, she got nerfed, and then people are using her again, and now
they played her a ton.
Yeah.
And then
stopped using her.
Got nerfed.
Yeah.
And they stopped using her, and then they realized she was still insanely good, and then they started using her again, and then she got nerfed again.
Yeah.
And they stopped using her, and then people started using her again because she was still insanely good, and then she got nerfed.
Yeah.
And then I think so about like 3 or 4 cycles into the Kazumi is a useless character.
Yeah.
Like nerf cycle.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to like vanilla Tekken 7.
Yeah.
She's literally been like severely nerfed 3 or 4 times. But yeah, she's B. I think.
B. Well,
she's pretty easy B. She's won multiple tournaments.
Yep.
In Korea.
Yep. Ulsan especially using Kazumi. Ulsan really actually won. He won UFA if I'm not mistaken as well with Kazumi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So slightly easier than Lydia. But yeah, still really good for all the same reasons she always was. It's just that like.
Okay, so Kazumi there. Katarina still top.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Good shit. What about probably a tricky one here as well? Raven. Master Raven.
Yeah, she is a tricky one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she goes in B or C anymore because she's definitely like they again she's another character where they really like overly nerfed her.
Some people would argue A, and I was about to say that, and it's as I said it, Siki Durek said A as well. Like even some people there, Jajalu, maybe even A. Yeah, I heard like some of the stuff that she does, especially like if you watch some of the top Raven players as well.
Chang Bang, you are the only one who thinks Raven is boring. This is crazy talk.
She has the best back turn mind game in the whole game. Insane damage.
It's all right. I don't know who has the best. There's a. But yeah, it is pretty good. But yeah, so what's the problem with Raven? Again, she doesn't have like a Magic 4, like a proper Magic 4 type counter hit move apart from against certain weird characters. She's like in general, like a lot of her utility is around whether she can just crouch dash up to people. So like the more powerful and rewarding your mids are, essentially, the more issue Raven often has. Also, like her stance makes her a bit vulnerable to stuff like Akuma down 3. Also means that she can't wave dash up. She can't like crouch dash up to him because he can just down 3 her.
Down 3, yeah.
So
someone said no 15 frame launcher also.
Yeah, no 15 frame launcher. She's got some weird. She's got like she's a weird character where like like Zafina, where Zafina, like, stuff will miss against Zafina, but stuff will never miss for Zafina. Raven is a character where she will miss stuff, but also stuff will miss against her. Like, she's a real, like, sometimes you get randomed out, sometimes you will random the other person out with her. Not like Zafina is just like having like plus 10 to luck your character.
Yeah.
Whereas Raven is just like, you're just making the whole thing a bit more random. I think
difficult one again. Difficult.
Yeah, I'll put her B. I think she can still be. I think she's hard. I think she's put her at the bottom of B.
So would you say harder than Leia?
She's similar. I think if you really like max out how to like, you have to be able to like max out how to transition from all her, like how to use regular quarter circle forward and down forward, down forward. Her combos are quite complicated. Yeah, her punishment's a bit weaker than Leo's. She doesn't like, with Leo, there's still like an easy core of game to play around in a way that there isn't so much with Raven. Like, because with Leo, you can pretty much just do like, I'm gonna do some low pokes, and then I'm just gonna do down forward 2 every now and again. Raven doesn't really have like just a giant long range whiff punisher button that she can just do like down forward 2. Yeah, down back 4 is semi-reactable, says Changbang. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think her lows start to get punishable. Like the punishability of her lows starts to become a real issue over time. I think she's a really cool character. I think they nerfed her a bit too much with the changes in the last patch, but yeah, I would put her here. I think. Oh, Mario, for some reason I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there we go.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself by accident while I was eating some sweets. So yeah, Paul Phoenix, Dinosaur. You know, Paul is a character that again is not used as much around here. You know, maybe Genius uses Paul. Doesn't compete as much. You know, enters a few tournaments. You know, MD Luffy from Saudi Arabia is probably the Paul you think of. You know, it's super strong. And when I played him, Jesus Christ, like some of the tools that Paul has. Well, super strong. But until then, I didn't really pay much interest with Paul. But yeah, he does have a lot of good shit. What do you think, Dana?
Probably A.
Okay.
He's quite hard. Surprisingly difficult to play. Again, he's a bit like Devil Jin in that he has to play neutral quite a lot. He doesn't really get to take his turn and then get to take his turn and then get to take his turn a lot, unless it's by the wall.
Yeah.
He's got quite a lot of like execution demands on his maximum damage combos. I mean, some of his stuff is literally sort of one frame like leniency if you really want to go for it. But
someone said here Paul is harder than Zafina, but not as hard as Brian or Steve.
Yeah, that's basically it. He shouldn't be. I don't think he's as hard as Nina. He's actually close to being as hard as Nina, so I'd put him to the left of.
Oh, I think guys, you agree with this? Slayer Slice, I don't agree with A. Kleinot Wolf, Paul requires good defense. Okay. So much built in. Does Dinosaur understand that Lydia got 45 nerfs last patch?
Yeah, I just don't care. Hey,
nice.
It's the general narrative is that like as I've said is that like nerfs really don't make that much of a difference in this game.
Yeah.
So much of the time we've seen characters get horrendously nerfed. And then what happens is that they drop out of tournaments because everyone stops playing them, not because they're actually super bad. Like most of what people said made Lydia a good character is still there. She's still fine. She's just really boring. Why would you want to play her?
Thanks for that.
Akuma, as Changman said, Akuma is this is easily the worst version of Akuma that has ever been in Tekken.
So Akuma's been consistently nerfed still to one. But the thing is, you say consistently nerfed. I don't want to get too much into Akuma, but but you're saying like this move has been nerfed from from 18 damage to 16 damage, and this move has been nerfed from 20 damage to 19 damage. Who gives a shit? It still does the same stuff. Like, we're talking about all these nerfs.
He's really had a lot of genuinely significant nerfs.
No, he has, but he's still at the top, Dino. He's still at the top. He's still one of the best characters in the game.
That's what I'm saying, is that like the nerfs and buffs have not actually changed this game ever all that much. It's a very conservative game. But yeah, he's had like a lot of, as I said, it's mostly that people have just learned how good Akuma is, rather than his actual changes that have made the difference. But he's easily the worst by a long way. He's of any iteration that's been in the game so far.
People see nerf and think it's the death of a character rather than try it out. Yeah, I think Paul then right now, Dino, nice one, puts him here. I think there's no disagreements from anyone in chat about Paul's placement right now. Can we move on, guys? We're nearly at the end of this, which is great. Hopefully, Dino, it's not taking up too much of your time. We'll try and finish this as quick as possible for you, so you can get to bed and have some rest. But guys in the chat, Paul Phoenix, that's correct, right? Okay, let's do Bob. What's your opinion, Dinosaur, on Bob?
Average. C.
Very good, very nice. The probably high D. Do you think?
C.
C.
He's just an average character, yeah.
See here. Would you say like?
He's
this one.
The easier than Shaheen. No, he's not easier than Shaheen. Is he easier than Leo?
Oh, Spag, thank you for the raid. 52 man. Thank you very much, Spag. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Dino Kazuya is the best in the game. Okay. It's probably about like Lily level in terms of difficulty.
Nice.
Probably because you need to wave dash and stuff. I'd put him to the left of Shaheen, actually.
Left of Shaheen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right of Shaheen. Sorry.
Right of Shaheen.
Yeah, he's actually.
So it's harder than Shaheen. You're saying? Yeah, no, he is.
Shaheen, yeah.
He is harder than Shaheen. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's. I think he's a good character. I mean, like you could argue he's like B. But I think he's just a bit like. There's the risk of he can't quite like brawl up close with like Steve, and like every other character has incredible like counter hit tools up close, like magic fours and various things like that. And once he gets stuck into long protracted poking exchanges, he's not that great at it. So he has to win off Mishima style wave dash mix ups, which is pretty good, but it's just a bit more risky than just like winning with pokes.
Exactly. A lot of compliments, Dino, from people in chat on this tier list that you've helped to do. It's everyone saying, even Spag saying, tier list looking good. I think a lot of people are quite happy with the tier list so far. Thanks, Dino. It's a tier list that I've never, I've seen many tier lists, but this looks really good. Again, the characters at the front are easier than the other ones. Again, if a character's easy, then it makes them, makes it easier to use in tournaments and everything else. So yeah, like if it's difficult, then it requires more brain power, more execution, which is why characters like Devil Jin, high execution, but very risky. No reason to stay standing. You can duck a lot. 4-4-2, who cares? Back 4, who cares? Up foot 4, who cares? Yeah, good shit. All right, Lee.
B.
B? Yeah. Whereabouts? Lee is another one where I've seen people put him at A and put him very high. Then others say, C. Execution, acid rain, quite difficult to do. 10 frame.
Yeah, his execution's quite hard.
Very hard. Very hard. Yeah.
I think it's quite hard. Like most of his stuff is actually not super difficult. Like acid rain is not really that hard. Back 2 loops aren't really that hard.
So in the chat they're saying A and B. A lot of A and Bs I've seen so far.
Yeah. I think he's probably B. I don't think he's like. I think basically, if you're A, you're a character. This is a character where you should be like, I'm completely comfortable with taking this character into a tournament. Like with E, I think you should be like. Actually, maybe not. Maybe that's just a.
Yeah. Because some characters,
I think the main like difficulty with D is less his execution than it is like the fact that his lows are either like punishable or not that really punishable, or like don't do that much. And you know, just having to learn how to like cancel in and out of Hitman stance, how that changes recovery on whiff for things like back four, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, he's okay. He's fine.
Yeah,
he's a good character.
So you'd
I
put
think he's
him...
probably about as hard as Eliza when it comes down to it.
Cool. Maybe to the
to the right, maybe to the right of Eliza,
right.
Because Eliza in the end can just he has a slightly easier, like can still go back to her intermediate game plan, being able to just do like Moonglide and then like a low poke.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Final three before we get onto like our final segment where we just like talk about the tier list and if there's any questions, maybe some final changes. What do we think of Heihachi? I know.
It's really difficult because he's got some matchups change quite a lot depending on whether he's. Sometimes it's just really dumb stuff. It's like how punishable is forward 4-2. Some characters can launch him for it, which can change a matchup quite a lot. There's also like characters who can. He's not great at being out poked up close, but like in terms of like the reward, like he's not very good against. I don't think he's particularly good against like Steve.
Okay.
And yeah, obviously the fact that he doesn't have very good lows. He's also got like. He's got some decent matchups against like quite a lot of the good characters. He's quite good against Brian. He's quite good against Akuma. He's decent against Geese.
Yeah, you've seen Joker play against Super Akuma, and he controls the game quite well.
As Marco says in the chat, he's really good against Biggs. He's really good against like less so Marduk, but more like against Jack. He can really mess Jack up. I would put him at the bottom of B. He's really hard.
Okay, but extremely difficult to use. But not, but still quite high there in B. So better than all the characters in C. Yeah, that's fair. I'm looking at it now. Bro, this tier list is looking really good, honestly. Nice one, Dino. It's looking sick. Kazuya, Dinosaur, Kazuya. One that you were.
We're gonna have to make a new tier.
Should we make a new tier for Kazuya? Well, where would you put Kazuya, Dino?
Honestly, I'd put him in C tier.
Whereabouts?
Like at the bottom, but I don't know whether he's like. Is he easier than Devil Jin? I think he's probably a bit harder than Devil Jin is now.
Okay, so he's like.
He's a bit easier. I think he is a bit easier than Devil Jin is now.
So
yeah.
There's Spag in the chat saying I agree. So according to this, Kazuya is the worst character. Worst character in C.
I think Devil Jin is now possibly worse than Kazuya. At least there's reason to pick. There's like certain characters you might want to pick Kazuya against. Like I don't know why you'd be playing a Lydia now, but if you encountered a Lydia, you might want to play Kazuya against her. Really think there's a character you would ever want to play Devil Jin against? Really? Seriously?
Yeah, none. Yeah, there's not. I don't think there's any Devil Jin players done from my knowledge. None. Like Devil Kazuya, but no one really sees it. Like he's a loyalist. He's been using Devil Jin since Tekken whatever days, Tekken 5 days. So you're right. There's no reason. There's no reason to.
Kazuya can like flowchart a win. You can just go. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. You're dead. Much more easily than Devil Jin can.
Yeah.
Who lost all of that when he really lost that when he lost up forward 4.
Yeah, that was
and
annoying.
Even then wasn't as good. Wasn't, and even when he was like good, didn't have that as much as Kazuya did.
I enjoyed Devil Jin when he had up forward 4. Now they just, they nerfed it.
They really over nerfed him.
Yeah,
but
it was
yeah,
very
I think
important. Very
Devil Jin
important.
is like a practical perspective, like sort of one of the worst characters in the game.
Cool. Yeah, does everyone agree with this? Kazuya and Devil Jin at the bottom there? Because then, this would say there, that means Kazuya and Devil Jin are bottom 10 in Tekken right now. One person says no, Hamnon. Yeah, defo, bro. Put Saf there too. No, I don't think so. Jumanji said he's got the he's a Yoshimitsu main from America. I can't say I agree. Ling, hardest character in the game ever. No way in hell, but that's just me. Okay. It seems that a lot of people are saying like no way, but like there's no reasoning. Like Dinosaur's just given a full breakdown as to why Kazuya is like Kazuya and Devil Jin are down there.
It didn't really give a reason for Kazuya, but I mean it's just
similar to Devil Jin, but Mishima's in general.
I mean Kazuya's got problems that Devil Jin doesn't, in that like he's another character where all his moves are terrible on whiff. Like if you miss a down forward 2 with a regular character, there is a chance you're not going to get launched. It's actually quite tricky to launch down forward 2s and stuff. You're almost getting launched if you miss Kazuya's down forward 2. Just everything he has is pretty horrendous on whiff, apart from like 1 or 2 moves. So down forward 4 is really bad. So he basically has a problem in almost every game, where in games with good movement he gets walked around for free, and in games with bad movement he gets mashed to death. And in both of those cases is like just stuff about like his whiff punishment always makes him struggle. But he's really hard, and if you him and you learn him a lot, you will eventually get to have a character who is sort of average-ish.
Cool. No, nice. Again, HK Junior, Mishima main. Kazuya should be first in B tier. Devil Jin bottom B tier, in my opinion. Okay, that's quite high, But okay, cool. No, that's good. What about Jin? Dinosaur, the final character, Jin.
A.
Okay. I played Jin for a bit. He didn't seem as hard, but I didn't play him for too long.
I think he's actually hard. I've underplayed how hard Jin is before, actually. Like, you need to do his electric the whole time, because you don't get a launch if you don't. He's got lots of like weird, tricky combos where you have to pick stuff up, you have to cancel out forward and 4 and so on. There's a lot of knowledge about how to use parry. You do crouch cancel 2-4 to punish stuff. He's actually really
I used him
hard.
a long time ago when the forward 4 combo was very easy. It was fun, and then after that I never used him ever again because he was too hard to pick up. But yeah, no.
I think he basically goes in like that cluster of people, Nina, Brian, and Steve. He's just in that tier. You can put him anywhere in there. I don't really mind. You can put him higher or lower. It doesn't really matter.
What do we think, chat? Above Zafina in terms of like difficulty?
So, yeah, he's definitely harder than Zafina. He's definitely harder than Paul. I don't know if he's harder than Nina. Maybe he is harder than Nina. Is he harder than Brian?
Actually, yeah, you're a Brian main Dinosaur, right? You can tell us if he's.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't play Jin that much. I don't actually really like him very much.
Why don't you like Jin?
Jin's
quite cool, Dino. Like he's.
No, he's exactly the kind of like character I think people would expect me to like, but I just don't like his jabs.
He's got. I remember that was one of the advice. The advice he said, and I've never forgot it. He's got short range jabs, right? And if with Bob, obviously as a superior jab, so a lot of just jab against Jin.
I mean, and that's basically what's keeping him from being like the best character in the game. That his poke range isn't that fantastic.
Nice. Cool. What's the chat? Let's see. You missed. Why bring out someone who might? Let's see. Respect for putting Brian high. Literally everyone underplays their own main. From God Frenson to you, Dinosaur.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean he's a really good character. He's pretty tricky in some matchups, but he's also like disgustingly powerful.
Cool. I think this is, this is a great. Thank you, Dinosaur, again. This is your time, guys. Final few questions for Dinosaur before he goes. If there's anything you don't agree or you want an explanation, I think S. Did we order S? Dino. Feng was first, right? Feng,
yeah.
Julia is the hardest of S, and Geese is here. Yeah, everything now is in order, right? If a character is, over here, then some of the easier characters in the game. Easy to win with Katarina, Marduk, Feng.
Yeah, I think in general, if there's anything to take away from this, for let's say like 99.999% of the people, is much more significant to take notice of where the character is, like in terms of how far left they are, than how far like up they are.
Yeah.
That is much more important for almost anyone to have an easy character. Than it is to have like a hard but good one.
Yep. Jumanji said, but if you take the execution portion out of the equation, she's in a good spot. Yoshimitsu, according to this, is the worst character in the game.
Fortunately, that does appear to be what we've said.
Exactly,
I mean, again, he's such a cool character.
Exactly.
I think they buffed him quite a lot.
Yeah.
He's got lots of like unique advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jumanji. It's you just win because you're just that good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I have to. Oh. You just win because you're amazing.
Nice. I think something that people were saying was Alyssa over Zafina. I think you've explained it briefly before already, Dino, but people keep asking this. Alyssa over Zafina.
In what? In terms of how being
positioning, yeah. Like Alyssa's easier than.
She's just, it's pretty much the same. I think there's a big difference between them. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it with. I'm basically just deferring to Changbang on this one. I think you basically just have to learn a few more like stance. You have to learn just a bit more stance complexity with Zafina than you do with Alyssa. I mean, Alyssa probably has a tiny bit more execution requirements in terms of like doing instant while running moves and some of her pickups. But I don't think there's honestly not a big difference between these two. You could swap them. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, perfect. No, nice one, Dino. Thank you very much for helping us out with this tier list, man. It's really cool, like to see, your opinion on where characters are right now. So yeah,
it was a pleasure.
No, thank you again, man. It means a lot. Hope you all enjoyed it in the chat. I will be uploading onto YouTube so you guys can maybe see it again and see what Dino had to say about different characters, because he did explain in more detail when we actually went onto the character, right? When we talked about Eliza, when we talked about Leo and all these characters like Leroy, we actually did go through it in a bit more detail. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it again. Dino, any final words to the stream chat? They all seem to have enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think just in general, when you're looking at Tekken 7, don't read too much into tier lists. Again, it's not simultaneously not a game where like tier lists have actually changed all that much despite nerfs and buffs. Geese and Akuma are still at the top, and basically every character is really good in this game. Like even the characters in the bottom tier are like really strong, or all have like really significant advantages that they can leverage. They just have like some flaws, like whether it's their low game or they're like they get abused by mids or whatever. But it's like even those characters, it doesn't really make much of a difference. The main thing is going to be executing with your character. That can be tougher. The characters towards the end of these, like the harder characters, might be an issue, but like this is a super balanced game by the standards of literally any fighting game, and is easily the most balanced Tekken that there has ever been. Yeah,
you've played all the all the Tekkens, Tekken 5, Tekken Tag 2, all of them. So it's great to hear that this game is as balanced. As balanced as you say it is. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you again, Dinosaur. Thank you everyone in chat. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, man. I'll see you all next time. We're doing some lore ranked another time, trying to get into Tekken God Prime. Let's see if it ever happens. But yeah, thank you everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.